Resilient design is one of the ways the city is taking action against climate change. I sat down with Eric Wilson. He is the Deputy Director of Land Use and Buildings for the New York City Mayor's Office. I asked him what that means and talked to him about how it's part of a larger plan by the city to protect New Yorkers from extreme weather events. How did you get into this space? You seem to have such a passion.
I'm a city planner by trade, and it occurred to me a few years ago just how consequential climate change is going to be for New York City. We're a coastal city with 520 miles of coastline, and as Tropical Storm Ida just illustrated, our flooding risks are not limited to the coasts, they're also inland.
What are you and your partners doing to protect New Yorkers from the impact of climate change?
In terms of buildings, we're trying to become a lot more sophisticated in how we use climate projections. One way we have of doing this is our office recently released the Climate Resiliency Design Guidelines, where we offer very accessible methodologies to take climate forecasts. We actually provide maps online that illustrate these forecasts. And designers can take this information and incorporate it into the design process so that there's that level of awareness from the get-go to minimize the amount of risk exposure that new construction is exposed to.
What is climate resilient design?
Climate resilient design is the idea of anticipating future risks in designs of buildings that are built today. For example, we know that we're going to be faced with a lot more extreme rainfall in New York City. We want to understand volumes of rainfall, where that's going to be happening, and how buildings can anticipate that, manage it, and incorporate it into designs so that it's built in a way that can withstand the extreme weather in the future. There are things that we're trying to act on as a city government, but there's also things that households can do to also prepare. And so this is really a big conversation that we need to embark on. It's one that I'm excited to have over coming years, but now is the time to act.
In this Queens neighborhood, this affordable housing development is cutting edge. Eric Wilson says there's lots of reasons why. What is it that makes Beach Green Dunes so state-of-the-art?
Beach Green Dunes incorporates a few state-of-the-art elements. It's a very sustainable, high-performing building. It incorporates flood resiliency features, given its location here in the Rockaways in southern Queens. And it also incorporates 100% affordable housing in compliance with our affordable housing plan in New York City. It's providing folks with housing right near the subway station and access to jobs and transit.
The motivation for all this resilient design: climate change.
Risks are different across the entirety of the city. Of course, here in Edgemere on the Rockaway Peninsula, there's exposure to coastal flooding risks as well as rainfall risks. But other housing developments across the city have heat risks. And we need to anticipate all of those at the very beginning of design of any building so that we are first and foremost safeguarding the health and safety of the residents inside.
From the efficient air and ground source heat pumps to super-insulated facades to solar panels, city officials want this to be a model for other affordable housing construction.
All housing is going to have to be extremely proactive as we think about climate change and its impacts in New York City. Not only do buildings need to perform and consume much less energy, emit fewer greenhouse gases. Of course, buildings are our largest carbon emitter in New York City, but they also need to be resilient to present and future climate threats.
Here in Beach Green Dunes, resilient design and building decarbonization come together. A stronger, more efficient way to keep residents comfortable and safe from more extreme weather patterns expected in the future. I sat down with Adriana Espinoza. She is the Senior Advisor for Environmental Justice with the New York City Mayor's Office, and we talked about climate equity, where buildings fit into that equation, and how her passion for the environment started as a child.
My role is to guide the city towards incorporating environmental justice, values, and considerations into the fabric of how we make decisions as a city.
What is environmental justice? It's kind of an abstract term.
There is, over history, tended to be a congregation of harmful environmental pollutants and inciting of harmful infrastructure, predominantly in low-income communities and communities of color and indigenous communities. If you look at for example, where our toxic hazardous waste sites are, you'll find that they are very strongly correlated along race and income lines.
What brought you to the issue of environmental justice, and how do you feel about working in this space, and what's important to you?
What's important to me and what brought me to environmental justice really started decades before I knew what the term environmental justice was. It wasn't until, I went to social work school and sort of really got interested in systems level interventions, and macro-based social change, and understanding what makes some communities more prone to things like asthma, that got me interested in this field. And so that's where I came to the climate space, and I'm never looking back. I hope that the work that we're doing can lead to saving lives in New York City, in reduced health impacts, better environmental health, safer neighborhoods, better protection from extreme weather, especially extreme heat days. I think that these can be life-changing measures.
New Yorkers have a lot to say about climate change and what we can do to decarbonize the city.
New York City is nothing without its people, and in recent years, climate change has had a direct impact on the lives of New Yorkers.
I love New York City and the vibrancy of the culture here, and I feel strongly that that needs to be preserved and protected.
I think this past summer really underscored yet again just how vulnerable New York is to the effects of climate change.
Climate change has caused the severity and the frequency of extreme weather events to go up, most recently with Hurricane Ida. Many lives are lost due to flooding events, but every single year, due to extreme heat conditions, countless lives are lost in New York City.
Climate risks are becoming more frequent and severe.
It's just absolutely imperative that we not only do everything we can to slow the changing of the climate, but also invest in our communities to make sure that they're protected and resilient.
It's really critical that New York invests and prioritize climate mitigation and climate adaptation measures.